Gone. I ate it already. Stop. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry, I'm a little off my upload schedule. I had just a weird week last week. I was in the funkiest funk all week. Was not in the mood. I was just like, I don't know, just not feeling like myself. And there's been a lot of fires here in California, and so it was smoky outside and the energy was heavy, and still with everything happening in our world, it's just a lot. And I don't know, I just wasn't feeling like myself. So yeah, I was in a major funk last week. But I posted something yesterday on my Instagram about how I get myself out of a funk, and so many of you DM'd me or commented about wanting to know how I get myself out of a funk. And so I thought I would just kind of vlog today and talk about some ways that I get myself out of a funk, because I feel like I'm getting out of it. And the reality is that everybody goes through these things, right? Life is cyclical, it ebbs and flows. We all have ups and downs, and we all experience feeling in a funk or feeling down or feeling low energy every now and then. Okay. Actually, you know what? She's never in a funk. She's always in a good mood. So yeah, I was in a funk. I feel like I'm getting out of it, and I've got some good tips because I've been here before. My mood and energy levels are very dependent on the weather outside and the collective energy. I'm a really sensitive person, and so when things are going, you know, off the rails in our world, or the weather is just crazy, like, I feel sad. You're never gonna feel 100% all the time. I think it's important when you are feeling low energy or you're feeling down, sometimes that's a cue to you to take a break and chill. And that's exactly what I did last week, literally the entire week. I worked a very minimal amount and I rested a lot. It doesn't happen very often, but like a couple of times a year, yeah, I'll feel like, okay, I'm really exhausted. I need to just Netflix and chill. I binge watched so many shows on Netflix. I'm gonna be honest, and that's what I needed. That is truly what I needed in that moment, and no shame, no guilt, you know? I needed a break, and I know some people can feel like they kind of get stuck in it and there's no way out of it, so that's what I'm hoping to help you with today in this video. For me, it's not easy to get out of my funk. Everything's habitual, so if you're allowing yourself to be, you know, lazy and restful and all of that stuff, you're gonna want to continue to do that because now you're used to that. So it's not easy for me to get out of a funk, but I do hit this point in my restfulness or laziness or whatever you want to call it, where it stops feeling good and I start to feel the itch to get back into the swing of things, because my natural state is positive and busy and productive and doing, and that really does make me feel so good. So I usually will hit a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. I need to do something about this. And I hit that point on Friday, really a couple of days ago, and I'm still at that point where I'm like slowly, gradually getting back into my routine, figuring out what my routine for fall is gonna be, and just getting out of this funk, you know? So just got home from yoga. I think I'm gonna shower and bathe the dogs, and then we're gonna get into Operation Get Out of a Funk. Oh, thank you. All right, the girls are clean, I'm clean, I feel like a new person. And this is my first tip, is whenever I'm working or in the middle of something and I feel anxious or uncomfortable or whatever it might be, honestly, taking a shower is such a great way to hit the reset button. Even like just getting myself semi-ready and like washing my hair and doing my hair and putting on a clean outfit, and you don't have to get dolled up to the nines or whatever, but doing that really does not only make you feel good physically, but mentally it makes you feel good because you're investing a little bit of time in yourself, moisturize your body, do your skincare. I love doing that for when I'm in just like a mini funk during the day or a bigger funk, right? Like I'm trying to get out of now. So taking time for self-care, getting yourself ready-ish, you know, and showering is such a great way to hit the reset button and feel fresh. It's almost like you're washing away all the bad vibes or heavy energy, and you're starting fresh, and you're just clean and ready to get out of your funk. The other thing that I'm really big on is cleaning your space and reorganizing or purging things from your space that you no longer need, and just shifting the energy in your space. I know this sounds really woo-woo, but energy is real. Everything is made up of energy. And if you're feeling stagnant or stuck or heavy in your space, in your bedroom or in your apartment or your home, rearranging things and reorganizing things seriously makes such a big difference. So I'm gonna tidy up a little bit right now, and then I'm gonna show you some of the organizing that I've been doing. Okay, so I am gonna do an updated apartment tour, so I'm going to give all the details on my organizing things in that tour. I'm gonna shoot that in like 2 days, so it should be up this week or next week. But in the meantime, since I'm talking about shifting the energy in your space and organizing, I'm gonna show you what I did. I did binge watch The Home Edit in one day. It's like an organizing show on Netflix, which if you like organizing, you have to watch that show. It's so good. And it inspired me to get my butt up off the couch and up-level my organization game, which really did help shift the energy in my space. It got me up and busy and doing something, and it just was like, it was a good choice. So I reorganized this cabinet, and it's mega organized. I have all my supplements and my mushroom coffee here, and my different supplements that I take here, and teas, and my little nighttime tonics. And then I have my baking stuff up there, and my protein powders, and my pancake mix. And I also did this cabinet, which I'm literally obsessed with. I will give you more details on this later, but I just took things out of packages and out of random boxes, and I organized them so that I can see everything that I have, and it seriously makes such a big difference. Like, wow. Really went like ham in my kitchen, which I'm really happy about because it needed it. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm in a funk, I just want to eat junk food. I like fall into this like terrible habit of just wanting to eat crappy food, and it just makes me feel worse, and it's this whole downward spiral. So that brings me to my next tip, and that is to stock your kitchen with healthy, nutrient-dense, high vibe food. Food is made up of energy too. And there's high vibrational foods that are full of life and prana and make you feel good. And then there's other foods that are full of heavy ingredients that make you feel sluggish, that are hard on your digestion, and that are just gonna make you feel more blah. Stocking your fridge with healthy, nutrient-dense foods is a mega, mega tip. And on that note, let's make a salad because I'm freaking starving. yum does that look? Okay, I'm gonna eat this and then I will catch up with you after. That salad was so good. So the next way we are going to get out of this funk is planning some workouts and setting some new goals. If you watched my glow up video, which was I think 2 videos ago, I set some fall intentions, and those are still my intentions, but in order to really integrate those intentions into my daily life, I need to have a plan. It's easy to set intentions, and then it's even easier to let each day go by and not even think about them because they're in a journal. I work best when I create a little challenge for myself, so I'm gonna create a little October challenge for myself, although I'm gonna start it today. Today's the 20th that I'm filming this, September 20th. So I'm gonna start it starting tomorrow, the 21st. But I feel like, actually, now that I'm saying this, I feel like I did this last fall. My fall into fitness challenge. This must be the time of year when I'm like, time to get back on track. I'm sensing a theme. But I am going to create a little fall fitness / health challenge for myself, because that is how I work best. When I set goals and I create a little routine for myself, that's when I thrive. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm not gonna go through my fall intentions because I already went through them in my glow up video, but I will touch on a few of them because we gotta make a routine and a schedule now, and we gotta come up with a plan so that we can actually take action and integrate these intentions into our lives on a daily basis. Hello. Hello. So how I'm gonna come up with this is I'm just gonna think about what type of movement I'm really into right now. And for me, I've been loving going to yoga and going to those yoga sculpt classes. So I got a membership there, and I'm going to look at their schedule and schedule in my workouts for the next week at least, and then I'll see if I want to continue on with this schedule or change it up. Did you want to be a part of the video? You're all nice and clean now. So before I create this little schedule, I feel like I should just mention that the reason why this is part of my get out of a funk plan is because moving your body is super important. Last week, I did 0 movement other than walking the dogs, and no shame, because that's what I needed. But moving your body is incredibly important. It's not just about the way you look. It's important for mental health and physical well-being, and moving your body circulates the energy within you, and it shifts energy, and it just makes you feel good. And when you work out or you move your body in some way consistently, you are giving your body an opportunity to release those feel-good endorphins that really do make you feel good. Plus, on the flip side, taking time to invest in your health and well-being just makes you feel good, right? You're building yourself up. You're building that connection with yourself. So movement is incredibly important. That is a big piece of my get out of a funk puzzle here, is to commit to a movement schedule. Part of the reason why I couldn't do it last week was because it was so smoky outside, but the smoke is clearing. I'm so grateful for that. And now it's time to get back into a routine with movement, because I just do not feel like myself when I'm not moving my body. I'm literally gonna get my planner, write in the classes I'm going to, put them in my phone calendar, sign up ahead of time, and that is that. Okay, so I've got all of my workouts in my planner. I'm gonna do yoga sculpt Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and then I'm gonna do yoga Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And then I think I'll make Friday my rest day, or I will do some cardio. And then I also wrote in like what podcast episode is going live and what YouTube videos I'm gonna publish on what day. I feel like I have a little bit of a plan now, which is great. Now I need to think about my morning routine, because my morning routine has shifted a little bit. I think I mentioned this in that glow up vlog that I'm waking up a little bit later. The sunrise is getting later and later because we're moving into fall. I'm just in the vibe of like waking up a little bit later. So now I'm going to write out my new fall morning routine on my notebook. This is also way easier now because I know now I'm gonna be working out or getting my movement in at 8 a.m. Now I have a set time that I'm gonna be doing my movement, so I can schedule in my other morning routine rituals like meditation, walking the dogs, what time I need to wake up, all that stuff. And that just helps give me some routine. And with routine comes good vibes. I hope this makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's easier to get into a funk when you're not in a routine and you're just kind of like, what? Like, I was so out of routine last week that I literally, there were at least 3 days where I laid on the couch nearly the entire day. Fall morning routine. So I know I'm gonna be working out at 8 a.m. So I'm gonna write that here now. Then the next thing I'm gonna jot down is what time I need to leave to get there on time. Let's see what time the sun is rising right now. I don't like to walk the dogs if it's too dark out. I think waking up at 6 is good for me right now. Still dark at that time, but that's okay. Okay, so here is my new fall morning routine. And basically how I did this is I scheduled one thing first, which is my movement every day. And I built the routine around that. So just kind of worked my way backwards. And then another thing that's gonna keep me from falling back into my funk is having a couple of pillars throughout my day. It's hard for me to schedule my day exactly the same every single day as far as work goes, because work is always changing for me depending on what projects I'm working on and all that kind of stuff. But a few pillars throughout my day is taking the dogs for their afternoon and evening walks, as well as what time I want to end work, and that's another important one. I think part of the reason why I fell into a funk is because I go overboard sometimes with work or not allowing myself to rest on a regular basis, and then I will hit a wall and then I'm just exhausted. So prioritizing rest and giving myself boundaries on a regular basis, I think is going to help me not fall into a funk. So at noon, we'll be walking the dogs again, which is great because that will just break up my work day. And then I would say around 5 p.m. is gonna be their evening walk. And if it's within like 30 minutes, it's really not a big deal, but I don't wanna look up from my desk at 7 p.m. and be like, oh my gosh, I need to walk the dogs. I need to start making dinner. I'm so behind. Like, I don't wanna feel like that. So those are my other pillars throughout my day. And then the in-between time, I can schedule as needed on a daily basis, depending on what projects I have going on and what kind of work I have for the week. I think also doing this gives you an opportunity. You know you have a schedule, you know you have things to do. I don't know if you're still working at home, but I am. And if you are, it's really important to give yourself some sort of routine. I talked about this at the beginning of quarantine, and I still think it's really important to give yourself pillars throughout your day. You don't have to schedule your day to a T every single day, but I think having pillars within your schedule makes it a lot easier for you to find a healthy routine and not fall into a rut or into a funk. That is that. I feel like these tips are all over the place. My next tip for getting out of a funk is to set some new goals and create some new projects that you're really excited about. So if you are working in a career that you're really excited about, that's amazing. Maybe you can plan a few weeks ahead and see what you have coming up and see how you can get excited or up level those projects. And if you're not currently at a job that you love, maybe you have a side hustle or there's something that you're interested in, think about what lights you up and gets you excited and make a plan to take some time each day to work on those projects. For me, I love making YouTube videos. I love creating for my podcast. And if I don't have an idea of what I want to do and I'm already kind of low energy, then it's easy for me to fall into a rut. So now I'm gonna sit down and think about what kind of videos I want to make and what kind of podcast episodes I want to record. And I'm just gonna think ahead a little bit for the month so that I can schedule in some really specific tasks that I can do on a regular weekly or daily basis that excite me and that are gonna motivate me to keep on keeping on, you know? So again, if it's work related and you love your career and you love the job that you're in, see if there are any areas that you can expand on or work on. And if it's a side hustle or if it's a passion project, fantastic. I freaking love that. Like anything that brings you joy, gets you excited and creative and gets you up in the morning, make a little plan, set some goals. What do you want to achieve this next month? Like we're almost to the end of 2020, you know? And I think that sometimes the end of the year can end up being kind of like a throwaway period because people are like, oh, especially now because 2020's just been so crazy. But it's not too late to make this year great. And I think that's part of the reason why I was getting into a little rut too, is I didn't have a plan and I felt uninspired. And so I just was like, whatever. But sometimes inspiration comes to you and sometimes you have to seek it out. And I'm in the mode right now, I'm in the vibe right now of I I have to seek it out because I'm not feeling super inspired. So I'm gonna take some time to brainstorm some ideas of things that I wanna do. I'm gonna write them down and then I'm gonna integrate them into my weekly schedule. Okay, now that I have my goals for this month and my morning routine written down, I'm going to use these fun little whiteboard markers. I bought this magnetic whiteboard on Amazon. I'll link it below. So I wrote down month-long goals in my notebook. I'm gonna break down those overall goals into goals each week, and I'm gonna write down my goals for this week, maybe even write down my morning routine. Now I have my morning routine written down and I have my goals for the week. So I feel like I have a really good plan for the week, and that just makes me feel good already because I feel like now I know what I'm doing this week. Whoa, sorry, it's really dark. Keep my blinds closed because it's been really hot here in LA. Anyway, sorry. That's great because now I feel like I have a plan for the week. I know what I'm doing. I have projects written down that I'm really excited about, and I have a plan of action. The other thing that I do when I'm in a funk is I make sure that I schedule in time to connect with loved ones, friends, people. I know right now it's hard because we are very much still in the middle of a pandemic and there's social distancing regulations and things that we need to follow so that we can remain safe. But it could even be a FaceTime date or a Zoom call or a socially distanced hike or picnic or something, so that you're not just like by yourself all the time. I guess it's a little different if you live with someone, but I live by myself and I am super independent and I love my alone time, but there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. And even though I love being on my own and I thrive being independent and like doing my own thing, human connection is important. And because I'm not teaching in studio yoga classes and I'm not going to my gym every day and I'm not seeing people out as much, it's important to schedule in that time of connection with your loved ones. So I just spoke with my mom and I'm gonna go down and see her, and I scheduled a socially distanced workout with my friend Brittany on Wednesday. So that's great. So I have 2 plans to see friends. I have this other friend too that's so sweet. She just follows me from room to room. By the way, if you're looking for a super uber cuddly dog, Havanese are seriously the sweetest. It's like borderline needy, but kind of love it. Penny is really sweet, but she's independent like her mama. She's always nearby, but she likes to like not be too close. This one just can't get close enough. It's so sweet. I love it. So I've been talking a lot about things that I do to get myself out of a funk, but I do want to mention one thing that I don't do when I'm trying to get out of a funk, and that is drink alcohol. I'm not a big drinker as it is. I did go through a weird little stage at the beginning of quarantine where I felt like I needed a glass of wine every night, but it was a crazy time. I'm sure a lot of people felt like that. But in general, I don't drink very often. However, when I'm feeling down or I'm feeling like I'm in a rut, that is the one time I definitely do not drink, because alcohol is a depressant and it is not going to help you get out of a rut. So if you're somebody that likes to regularly socially drink, no judgment, but if I were you, I would cut back or eliminate it altogether if you're feeling down or if you're feeling like you're in a rut, because it's not going to help you feel any better. Plus, it makes you tired, it makes you not feel well. I feel like I make poor food choices when I'm drinking alcohol, even if it's just like 2 drinks or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just, don't get me wrong, okay? I love a good glass of wine with dinner. I do love to treat myself when I'm on vacation or I'm traveling, but when I'm at home and I'm trying to get back into a healthy routine, alcohol is not helpful or productive at all, in my opinion. So that is something that I definitely will not be doing, even though I wasn't planning on doing it anyways, but not for me this week for sure. I touched on this a little bit earlier about purging the house and cleaning and tidying up, and that your space being tidy is important. And I did do a deep clean of my apartment the other day, but I'm just gonna tidy up a little bit now. I have some boxes and random things all over the place. So I'm gonna do that now and do some little odd tasks that I need to get done, because it is Sunday after all. Sunday is generally my day to get my stuff together, if you know what I mean. know what I forgot to tell you is so important when you're trying to get out of a funk? Self-care. You got to do some self-care. I know I mentioned that about like taking a shower and that whole idea of like washing everything away, but also make some time to do a little face mask or a nice hot bath. Or if you're in an area where you can get a manicure pedicure, maybe you treat yourself to a mani-pedi. Or I also love to like treat myself to my favorite smoothie out or something like that. Like it doesn't have to be anything expensive or big, but sometimes just like a small treat out just makes you feel good, you know? And that's what we want. We want to raise those vibrations. We want to get you out of a funk. Okay, so this isn't actually a self-care item, but I'm not talking to you. Get yourself a dog if you want to get out of a funk. Seriously though. There's so many babies that need to be rescued right now. They really do give you purpose and joy, and they're just the sweetest little beings on the planet. But what I was gonna say is the other day, in the midst of my funk, like the really bad part of my funk, I went to Target because I had to pick up a few things, and then I treated myself to a candle. It's like $6, little pumpkin spice candle. And it seriously did make me feel better. And it makes me feel good when I light it and I smell it, and it sets the vibe in my home. Whether it's a mani-pedi out or it's some sort of self-care that you're doing at home, or maybe treating yourself to a smoothie or a coffee or a little candle or something nice, gifting yourself something just to lift your spirits, just do it, you know? You're worth it. Life is short. You gotta treat yourself. I know we're all similar, which is why you're watching my videos. So that means that you work hard and you hustle and you're on it. And that also means that you deserve to treat yourself and be kind to yourself and rest and relax a little bit too. This whole video is all about how to get yourself out of a funk. It's also about practicing self-compassion, being kind to yourself. And if that's something that you need to work on, then you need to listen to my podcast episode next week. So a week from this Tuesday, I will link my podcast down in the description box below, because my next solo episode, which will be coming out the last week of September, is all about self-doubt, but it touches on a lot about self-worth and loving yourself and self-compassion and all that stuff. So if that's something that you're working on, definitely listen to that podcast episode. I also have another good one about self-love and yoga, and I touch on the importance of showing yourself love and compassion.
You're not a baby anymore. Why are you biting me?
And then the sweet little Penny's just hanging out.
Hi, Penny. Hi, Mama.
That is like their personalities in a nutshell. Bolly's always all up in my business. Penny is independent lady. She's an independent woman. I feel like I've given you all my tips. You know what's a good tip? Going out for a walk. So if you find yourself like stuck on the couch like I was all last week, binging Netflix, get up and go for a walk. It doesn't even have to be a long walk, but like put on an inspiring podcast or call a friend that uplifts you, and get yourself outside, get your body moving, get a little vitamin D going if you can. Movement is like really underrated. I'm serious. It really does help shift the energy and make you feel good. Speaking of which, let's go on a walk.
The last thing I will say about being in a funk is just remember that it's only temporary. Like I said in the beginning, life is cyclical and it ebbs and flows, and these times come, but the good news is that they go. So just remember that. Don't be too hard on yourself, and just try to listen to your body and try to go with the flow as best as you can. So just keep that in mind. Be kind to yourself, do what you can, and hopefully the things that I shared in today's video help you. And know that you're not alone. I go through it too. I just went through it all last week. Yeah, just know that I'm thinking of you and I'm sending you all of my love, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.